avoid lawsuits. Wherever there is a legal dispute between two parties, even after it is resolved, bitterness remains. How can this be avoided? It is virtuous to keep one's obligations, but the wise go beyond this. They do not insist on their rights, but forgive the debts of those who owe them. They know that the Tao will reward them for staying out of court. This is chapter 79 of the Tao Te Ching, and this is one of the more difficult items to put into practice. Because though this is focused specifically on the context of law, what chapter 79 is referencing is dealing with the formality of disagreement. And instead of pursuing the right path, rather pursuing what you believe to be right, pursuing a solution that results in accountability and results in making things right, this chapter suggests that you let it go. Now, this is not the only place where this appears. As we look at other religions and other cultures, we look at these other instances, and this sounds remarkably similar to the philosophy of Jesus Christ saying to turn the other cheek. Do not insist on your rights, forgive the debts of those who owe them. When someone does you wrong, simply turn the other cheek. This also transcends the limit that is so often placed on legal disputes of being able to solve things with money. This is a direct relation to value being much more than money, and the reward of peace being very much the same. There's so many different ways that we can establish value in our interactions, and it also gets to the question of first action, which is when something goes wrong, what are we going to do about it? In an ideal situation, in our interactions, we want to get to square one of peaceful interaction, meaning that party A and party B, whoever they may be, are able to interact, live their best life without doing harm to each other. Peaceful interaction should be possible. And in order for that to happen, it involves looking at the broader context. There is certainly a deeper history in almost every single situation when we think of that which upsets us on an individual level, on a systemic level. It requires putting aside the past without pretending it didn't happen. In other words, learning from the past. If someone steals from you, you may understandably be able to reach a position of peace with that and forgive them. That doesn't necessarily mean that in the future you aren't more observant of when this person is around and how they're interacting with other things that you value, which they may take. You can continue the positive, peaceful interaction while taking preventative measures. This is also something that appears in capitalism and in the interpretation that has evolved since the creation of capitalism and the creation of the United States. The concept of might makes right, in this concept of being able to establish a strong defense. This was, after all, the reason for the Constitution. This is what is in the preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. It is the reason for it. Now, putting that aside real briefly, letting go of what angers us, harm that has been done, justly or otherwise, the practice of forgiveness requires work, in the sense that letting go of what feels righteous requires action and non-action separate from the context, or at least forgiving. To not insist is to further clarify where you draw the line, to clarify your definition of better.